Hello, my Teaserking family. Professor is not healthy today, so I will go a little bit. I don't think I'll go by normal time, but we'll get into just looking at the bowl lines. But I don't know. I got a headache, a fever. All my things ache. I don't know. I was fine. I went swimming last night, and when I got home, uh, after I was just watching TV, you could feel it coming, and I was a little bit cold, so I got another blanket, and it was so heavy I had a hard time sleeping. And then I took a hot shower. Then we'll go to the pool, take a hot tub in a sauna, see what I can do. My friend who works there, she's into herbs. She's saying, "I'll see what I got for you." As well, okay, I'll be in tonight. And she's the one that gave me that other herb for my mouth. So now I'm starting to cough again, but I still have some left, so I'm still taking it. Anyway, not pleasant, but it's hard to sleep. My head's aching, and I don't know, maybe the hot tub I can get to sleep or something. Anyway, so what a game last night, eh? So Tampa wins 17-16. They can't score for the whole game and then get two touchdowns in the last minute and win 17-16. I believe I gave New Orleans. It was one of those struggle ones, but I think I took New Orleans at 9.5 and under is what I have highlighted. So I didn't bet it. So it was a great week. Again, 9-2, 3-0 on the locks, 2-0 on the locks in college. And now we get to the bowl games. And the bowl games are very interesting. So let's go through the lines, and then we'll go through Teaserking's lines. So UAB, 11.5, 43.5. I'm not anticipating any big moves yet, more near game time. Troy, 2.5, 55.5. Not really much. A weird game here. Cincinnati, Louisville. You'd have thought they'd have played 1.5, 43.5. Cincinnati. SMU 2.5, 74.5. That's a pretty big total. Actually, I don't know that BYU's all that explosive. Washington State, Fresno State. Washington State 4.57. So you got to be careful here. Washington State with a good defense, more of an under team, but so is Fresno State. This actually is probably an under game. Washington State's not that explosive offense. Let's go. Southern Miss, 5.5, 48.5. This is a weird game. They're in the same conference. Rice and Southern Miss are both Conference USA or whatever. What the hell are they playing in a bowl game for? I was very surprised by that, because normally you play other conferences. Oregon State, 7.5, 54.5. Hasn't really moved. Boise, 7.5, 54.5. Marshall, 9.5, 40.5. Not a lot of movement. San Jose State, 4.5, 55.5. So we're not getting a lot of movement. Toledo, 1.5, 52.5. South Alabama, 2.5, 64.5. Baylor, 6.5, 45.5. Kind of a weird, it's kind of a low number with Baylor. Air Force can score. They got a good defense, but not against Baylor. I mean, this is where you have to dig into the stats. So on the stats, superficially, it looks like this would be a low-scoring game. But when you dig into Air Force against the Baylor, they're going to be low-scoring. Baylor's going to light them up. Air Force is going to need points. This 39 with Baylor, thank you. Air Force is not the strong defense. Houston, 3.5, 59.5. Wake, 1.5, 60. San Diego State, 1.5, 48.5. So really nothing's really changing. New Mexico State, 1.5, 48.5, which I really like New Mexico State. They switch quarterbacks. They've been lighting it up, sort of like South Carolina. Georgia Southern 4.5 for 64.5. Memphis 10.5, 65.5. So nothing's changing, just a half point here or there, which I'm not going to waste my time with. East Car 7.5, 59.5 against Coastal Carolina, and looks like McCall played, so I assume he'll play here. Wisconsin 2.5, 51.5, hasn't really moved. UCF 3.5, 60.5. Good game here. Arkansas 4.5, 67.5 against Kansas. I like this game over. Oregon 9.5, 71.5. That should be a nice over with North Carolina, who should be able to light it up. Texas Tech, Ole Miss 3, which I'm not sure why, 66.5. Again, love the game over. You're putting on my Big 12 teams against easy team, weak defensive teams. They're going to light them up. Minnesota 6.5, 44.5. Florida State 7.5, 60.5. Texas 3.5, 66.5. Mary 2.5, 47.5. I'm not quite sure why they're favored. UCLA 3.5, 59.5. You gotta love UCLA here. They'll kill them. Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, so it's in Texas. Yeah, they're gonna kill them. Notre Dame 4.5, 50.5 against South Carolina. I mean, South Carolina has been playing lights out the last few weeks. Does Notre Dame really care going against South Carolina? I think South Carolina is very live here. Ohio 2.5, 44.5. No big change. Clemson 4.5, 64.5. Kentucky 3.5, 32.5. That's just ridiculous, that under. But I do. It's a beautiful under game. Two strong defenses, two strong under teams with 32.5, and you're over under. Are you kidding me? Alabama 4.5, 54.5. I love Kansas State here because Kansas State's going to play to show how they got screwed, and Alabama probably won't show up, and their guys will probably sit out because they're Alabama. They're not in the playoff, but Kansas State wants to prove something. Look, we beat Texas, TCU. We should have been in there, and look, we're going to pound Alabama, and I'm getting 10.5. I love that one. Michigan 9.5, 59.5. I love TCU. Georgia 6.5, 16.5. Georgia by 30. Mississippi State 1.5, 45.5. LSU 6.5, 58.5. Why is Tulane favored in this game against SC? 1.5, 62.5. I guess they assume the quarterback with the hamstring isn't going to play, but I don't know about that. And how about the backup? Probably isn't bad at USC. And then Penn State 1.5, 49.5 against my Utah team. What is going on with that one? Holy crap. I mean, that's just a joke. You're giving me Utah and 7.5 against Penn State? Okay, now what's changed in this mess is, are they going to play or sit out for the draft? Oh, I'm afraid to get hurt. Oh, yeah, I want to draft you. You're afraid to get hurt. What are you going to do in the NFL? So we have to wait a little bit longer. No, not the Georgia and Michigan game. They're obviously playing if they're healthy. Like the running back for Michigan's obviously out. He's in, he had surgery or whatever. But I mean, the Utah guy, the UCLA guy, USC, are they playing their guys? But we will have to wait because we think they're playing, and then as they get closer. Now, I think Utah gets played because I think they want to show how good they are, because nobody's really talking about Rising and Thompson Robinson, and they're going to have a chance to show off their wear. USC, maybe. Plus, he's got a pulled hamstring, so maybe he doesn't play, but hard to say. But I don't know where these guys, Kansas State, uh, what, LSU, Purdue, USC, Utah. I don't know where these guys are sitting out. I would be shocked if Rising sat and Thompson Robinson sat. But again, here's where we get fucked. We make the bet as if it's a normal bet, and then, oh, I'm going to sit out so I don't get hurt for the pros. And now you're fucked because now you're betting on, I'm betting on Rising, and then he doesn't play. Even if I bet him now, I don't know that I have that he does play. And this is what? This is January 2nd. So even now, I don't know if he's playing. I assume he's playing, and he probably shows he's healthy and playing, but we don't know. Now, it's a nice win. If they beat Penn State, I think it helps Rising. So I think he probably wants to play. Otherwise, what's the point of the bowl games, right? I would assume USC's guy's not playing because I got USC's a 14-point favorite, and they're a 1.5-point dog. I assume their quarterback's not playing. Now, with that said, how good's the backup, and are they going to be okay with the backup? Which I think they will. I think it's the offense. So as long as the backup's a little fast guy, they'll be okay. So that's my point. So you got to be very careful about betting these things outside of the Michigan and Georgia game. You've got to be careful with the are they going to sit out or not? So that's really the question. UCLA, USC, Utah, Kansas State, Illinois. I'm shocked Illinois is getting points from Old Mississippi State. I mean, I'm looking at these lines. So I do my thing. So I put in are they over or under? So we go UTSA Troy. Well, we got an over team against an under team, but Troy's been scoring a lot lately. So that's when you kind of read between the line and going, yeah, but Troy's getting better. UTSA, this should be a high scoring game. Again, out of conference, Cincinnati Louisville is a low scoring game, and we got a 44. As is Washington State Fresno is a 57, and both teams have good unders. Hayner's going to have trouble against this defense, and Washington State doesn't score. So this one should be an under, but that's what we're looking at. So we got Florida, Oregon State. Oregon State, very good defensive team, played Oregon to a 90-point game. So that's where you're like, well, Florida's been scoring a lot lately, and Marshall's been an under team, and Baylor Air Force, I think that's a joke. If Baylor plays, they're laying 7-1. Excuse me. Wait, Missouri. I mean, I love Hartman there if he plays. So you have a lot of, are these guys playing? And that's really the hard part. Now we have a sleeper here, New Mexico State, 1.5 over Bowling Green. All of a sudden, New Mexico State scored 50 points, 3 games in a row. They switched quarterbacks. And here they're playing Bowling Green. They should kill them. I mean, Bowling Green is an over team. So is New Mexico State. The over-under is only 48. I think New Mexico State might get it by themselves the way they've been playing. The same thing with South Carolina against Notre Dame. 4.5. I got Notre Dame by 10. You only got 4.5, over-under 50. This game definitely is a high-scoring game. The way South Carolina is playing lately, the way they played Tennessee and the way they played Clemson, they're gonna put up a 60-point game, and it's a 50-44. So you've got to take that into consideration. Tennessee, Clemson, if Hooker's not playing, what are you going to do with this game? Again, K-State, I love against Alabama, TCU over Michigan, Georgia, Ohio State, LSU, Purdue. This should be an over game, 58. The way they're playing, this should be a high-scoring game. And USC, if USC plays, this could be one of the locks because either the 62 or take USC and 7.5 against Tulane. That's a joke. And then Utah is a dog. And then UCLA only laying 3.5. So we've got our basis. We know what we want. And the question is, are they going to play or are they sitting out their guys? This is the real reason. God, I got this pain like here. And it's just kind of uncomfortable. I can't really like take a nap. It's hard to. I did take a hot shower. And like I said, I'll go to the club and take another hot tub and a steam, but it's pretty brutal. I mean, this is I'm pretty roughed up right now with everything, with the headache, the sinus, and everything else. This is not kind. So those are your bowl games, but again, we need to know if they're playing or not. And a lot of the times, like last year, what was it? Michigan was playing Michigan State, and Pickett didn't play, but he didn't say it until like the day before. He says, "Oh, I'm not playing." Well, we already got the bet out there, and that's the problem. So you really got to wait late, which kind of screws us up because we like getting the bet in now, especially these over-unders. So really the only bet I'm going to be able to make is the TCU Georgia bet is the only one. And then hopefully Utah, UCLA try, then I can bet on them. I mean, that's just UCLA 3.5 over Pitt. They'll cover that in the first 5 minutes of the game. And Utah, Penn State, Utah is a dog. Are you kidding me? So as long as everybody's healthy and playing, and again, how are we going to know this? I think what you do is you do a Google search, is Rising playing for Utah? And it'll tell you yes or no. I mean, the earlier they can say no, the better, or the earlier they say yes, the better. But that's it. Now on the site, I'm selling the whole package, so all the bowl games and the playoffs. So the rest of college is $125. You'll get all the bowls, all the locks in the bowls, and the playoffs. So you'll get Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU. Then you'll get the final game. It's all covered. Any lock is covered. That's the thing. If you buy a package from me, you always get the locks. You don't have to buy the locks to get the locks, unless you only want the locks. Then you buy the locks. But if you buy college football, you get the picks plus any locks that I throw out there because I code them college. So I'm hacking a little and I'm going, shit, I'm taking these drops that I showed you. Again, I got to take this drop. Like, Jesus. Anyway, so that's what we got in college. I want to read you something from my friend in Russia. This is my friend in Russia, and I help her out. First, she's apologized. I'm very sorry for what is happening in the world, and because of this, we cannot meet because I can't fly there because their airport's closed. And I said, well, you don't have to apologize. It's not you're not doing it. Biden's doing it, or Putin. Well, Biden too. So I'm asking about prices. So far, nothing has changed in Russia. I haven't heard about it. For the third time in a year, they plan to raise payments for an apartment, so that's rent, and groceries in December. Our salaries are not growing. Salaries are growing only for state employees, so they want you to work for the government. Clothes have also gone up in price. People are complaining about the lack of sales. Well, yeah, see, if you make things too expensive, nobody can buy it, right? And that's what I've been telling you. This is communism, right? Oh, we're just going to raise apartment rent and we're going to raise groceries. Well, what do you mean you're going to raise them? You can't. If the people can't afford them, you can't just raise them. This is what I talk to you about when we talk about economics. It's supposed to be free market. You only raise it if people demand the Canadian club, and there's 500 people who want it. And now we raise the price from 50 to 60 because of the demand, not because we say, oh, let's just raise it to raise it. You can't. It's the market. So here in Russia, for the third time in a year, they plan to raise payments for rent and groceries. Our salaries are not growing. Salaries are only growing for state employee. Clothes have also gone up in price. People are complaining about the lack of sales. So if you have a store, they're not making any sales. So there's no profit. They probably have mass unemployment. So, you're really fucked living in Russia if you think that's your out. You're not, you're crazy. But this is what a communist country does. They just, we're going to raise rent, we're going to raise food, we're going to raise clothes, we're going to raise this and that. That's the problem with it. You can't do a market like that. The market has to be, what do we want? And then go and buy it. And you adjust your prices accordingly to what we're doing. Hey, Todd. Florida starting quarterback not playing entered into the pro draft. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you got more, or just send me the emails if you have some. Florida, where's Florida? So they're playing Oregon State, and Oregon State's -7, and QB out. I can't imagine why this quarterback would be out. He's not very good. What is he doing? Does he actually think he's going to get drafted and he shouldn't play because he's going to get hurt and all he does is run? That's ridiculous. So my response to her is, don't worry, gold and silver will save us, because I don't just have extra money to give her if it keeps going up, but I do if gold and silver. Then I say, all of Europe is fucked. It's USA's fault. It's terrible. They need to stop the war and let me come get you both. Then she's apologizing. I'm happy that you're with me. And that's it. I mean, basically me trying to calm her down, going, well, yeah, this is happening. It's too bad. Now, my girlfriend in the Ukraine did get her money today, which I was happy. So I sent her on RIA, because I can't do PayPal and I can't do MoneyGram to the Ukraine, but I can do what's called RIA, RIA. So I sent her a couple $100, and so she was able to get her money, buy some food, pay for the gym. She likes working out. It relaxes her. In the middle of a fucking war, she's got to worry about going to the gym and walking the dogs and then trying to get food. So I don't know what to give her. But this is the way these countries are. They just raise prices, not based on economics, not based on, everybody wants hamburger, we're going to raise the price. Here, if you raise hamburger to $15 a pound, nobody buys it. They say, screw you, I'm not paying for it. And it sits there, and then your inventory is getting screwed, and then you lower the price to sell your inventory. That's what should be happening. But what did she say in Russia? I'm screwed. They're just raising my cost, my apartment, my food, my clothes. They're raising it. And the biggest problem is I can't even fly there. So I can't, here's a gold coin, here's some silver, at least go, take that. And when it goes up, at least you can sell it, and then, you'll be okay. I can't even go to, I thought maybe we could go to Copenhagen, but I don't. That was how they could get out. They could take a train to Helsinki and then get to Copenhagen, and I would have flown to Copenhagen. But Russia's kind of closed that too, because everybody was running out because nobody wanted to fight this stupid war. Anyway, so that's what's happening in Russia, and it gives you a better perspective when you hear somebody who's there saying this is what's happening, and it goes into our economics class. The government should never just raise rent and raise food. What the fuck are they doing? how can they just raise it? I mean, there's got to be an economic function to it. People are buying it. That's why it goes up. But what do you do? So you're raising food, but there's no demand, and it just sits there at $10 for hamburger, and nobody buys it because nobody wants it. That's the mal investment we talk about, and that's not the free market. A little bit like gold, where gold's really 40, 50,000 an ounce, but they're holding it down. And therefore you think, oh, that's the real price. The difference is everybody runs and buys it at this price. So anyway, so that's her problem. And I don't know what to do. I mean, I try to help her, but I do my best. I can PayPal her in Russia through a back door, and then I can RIA to the Ukraine. So I can still help them. I was worried in Russia because with the sanctions the U.S. did, I couldn't send her PayPal or MoneyGram or anything. I can't even FedEx her gold or silver. And I'd be leery about doing it, but I can't even do that. So we do something else. I can't really get into it here, but that's what's happening. So that's, now is that coming here? Can they change this from a capitalist system to a communist system? That's what the Keynesians want. They want to control the prices, not leave it at free market. What do we bitch at? Leave it at free market. Let the market dictate what it should cost. And if people want to buy it at X, they buy it. If they don't, it's too expensive. The price goes down. I look at steaks. If they're $25 a pound, I just laugh going, I'll just buy the hamburger. Thank you very much. But I got a whole freezer full of meat that's, $8, $9, $10 for steaks, and hamburgers are $5 and chicken at $3. So I saw the prices. I just loaded up until I don't have any more room in my freezer. But again, how long is that going to last me? All right. So maybe I get 2 months out of it because I do intermittent fasting. Now what do I do? Right. So we will see what happens. My guess is things will just get like Russia. They'll get more expensive. The steaks will be $30. You just won't buy them. We'll just be eating chicken. We'll be eating hamburger, canned goods or whatever, spaghetti and tuna and stuff that's protein, but not too bad. But spaghetti's carbs. So I'm going to have a hard time finding protein to eat that's affordable, but that's why I'm doing it. I got to get over this craziness, my head and everything else. So in the bowl games, we can go through. So what do we like? So, we like the UTSA Troy over. We like Cincinnati Louisville under. SMU BYU. I don't like the over. It's 75. I think that's too much. Washington State, Fresno State under. Again, it's hard because you don't know who's playing. Now, I think Hainer would be playing with the Washington State, Fresno State. Washington State doesn't have a quarterback that needs to sit down. Hainer, maybe, but he's already sat a few games with the injury. So I think he plays. He wants, there's a time that you want to show what you can to get a higher draft position. And that's why I think Thompson Robinson, that's why I'm laughing. The Florida quarterback sucks. And here's Thompson Robinson, and here's Rising, and here's the Oregon quarterback, Bo Nix, and Washington Penix. And these guys, nobody's talking about them. And you're like, what the hell are you looking at? These are the cream of the crop. And you're giving me this Florida quarterback who I wouldn't draft. If I'm the GM of the Lions, this guy is not even getting on my chart. Never. It could be the 8th round. He could still be on the board. He's not getting drafted because I would have gotten Rising in the first round in the first 5 picks. So South Alabama, Western Kentucky, good game. Baylor Air Force. I like Baylor. If Baylor plays, I like a -1. They'll beat Air Force. And I like the over. Wake and Missouri, we got Hartman going. Hartman laying only 1.5. We got Hartman in 4.5. We got an over under of 60. You got to love 54 with Hartman. Missouri can score a little bit. New Mexico State, like I said, I like. Georgia Southern, Buffalo. We like that game over because we know Georgia Southern lights it up. Memphis, Utah State, I'm kind of not really interested in. East Carr and Coastal Carolina. Now that McCall's playing, East Carr's explosive. I love this over 60, provided they play. Is McCall going to sit out? Now, this is what kills me. McCall plays the last week, so they can win the conference championship. And they lose, but he plays. So is he going to sit out now when he just played with the hurt knee or whatever he had hurt? Wisconsin, Oak State. Nick says that Oak State's receiver's out. Well, he's been out the whole 6-7 weeks anyway. The key, Spencer Sanders, is he going to play? And Oak State's much better than Wisconsin. So I think Oak State lights them up pretty good. So if that's the case, I would take Oak State +9. I mean, that's a joke. UCF Duke, that's explosive. That's an over. Only over 60. Duke scores a lot. UCF. Now, their quarterbacks both fucked the coach over, and neither of them wanted to play in the conference championship game against Tulane. So they put the third stringer out there, and he struggled, and then he got a little bit. And then next thing you know, the starter comes back out, Plumlee, and he starts playing. And I would have told Plumlee, go take a seat. You didn't want to play. There's nothing wrong with you. Fuck you. You're killing the team. That's the problem with it. I would not have allowed him out, and I wouldn't allow him to play here. Kansas, Arkansas, I don't see anybody sitting out for these two. Jefferson, maybe, but Jefferson needs the exposure. This game will be an 80-point game. North Carolina and Oregon, this game will be an 80-point game. It's a 71. Provided everybody plays, just go over with Oregon and North Carolina is explosive. Texas Tech, Mississippi, same thing. Go over. Texas Tech lights it up. Ole Miss lights it up. Not a strong defense, so this should be high scoring. Syracuse, Minnesota is more of an under game. So no quarterback's gonna sit out for the pros in this game. Oklahoma, Florida State. Oklahoma over team, no defense. Again, a 60. This is way over 60. Florida State, okay defense. They're not going to stop Oklahoma's offense. See, this is where it comes down to. Florida State's an under defense in the ACC. However, they didn't play an under game against Hartman. And when you get into these Oklahoma, Oak State, Baylor games, you don't keep them under 20. That's not going to happen. So it's going to be an explosive day, and Oklahoma doesn't have defense. Texas, Washington, another beautiful game, over under 66. Good luck stopping Washington. Texas, is the running back going to play? Maybe not. Him I could see not playing. We'll see what happens. We got to get more information there. But I like right now, I like the game over if everybody plays. If he doesn't play, I like Washington at 9 with that offense. Mary, NC State, strong under team. Mary, that's a hard one. Pitt, UCLA, all UCLA, and over 60. UCLA will probably get the 60 by themselves. Notre Dame, South Carolina, over 50 to 44. That's a joke the way South Carolina's playing. Tennessee, Clemson, very much confusion. Is Ugly Boogly going to play for Clemson? Hooker's out, I would imagine, for Tennessee, so that makes the backups. Clemson's defense came to play against North Carolina a little bit. Are they going to hold Tennessee? This would have been a great game with Hooker. He'd have lit them up. But without him, I don't see the 64. That's with Hooker. He's not there. I think that's a little high. Iowa, Kentucky is a beautiful under game, but 33, you go under 39, maybe. Alabama, Kansas State. I love Kansas State to win. 4.5, you get 10.5. Over under a 54. Probably an under game because Alabama's not going to do shit on Kansas State. They're going to be lucky. It'll be like the Texas game, right? 2019. They'll be lucky to move on Kansas State. Kansas State will play to win and say, fuck you, Alabama. And Alabama, isn't that good, and they'll prove it here. So I like Kansas State there. TCU, Michigan, that's a Joe. That spread's way too high. TCU in 16, thank you. Georgia, Ohio State. I love Ohio. I love Georgia here. 7 down to 1 or 6.5 down to a half. You know, when I ask you why Ohio State's in it, who have they played? Nobody. They haven't played one good team. They played Notre Dame with the weak quarterback, and then they played Iowa, who sucked, and they played Michigan State, who sucked, and they beat Penn State, who not very good, and they lost to Michigan. So why are they in there? Who have they beaten? Put them in the Big 12. Okay, you guys got to play Oak State, Baylor, TCU, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Texas. Good luck. And they'd be lucky to win 3 of those. So I don't know. Georgia's just going to pound them. But you see, you can't get caught into Georgia LSU and go, well, they're going to do the same thing to Ohio State. It's a different game, right? It's a different card game. This is Georgia LSU. Now this is Georgia Ohio State. So you get a little different games, but I still think Georgia wins. Mississippi State, Illinois. Illinois with a strong defense. Mississippi State, it's kind of an average team. I kind of like the under in the game. Illinois, good running back and not much quarterback, and 51. Yeah, probably. I don't love it, but probably an under. LSU, Purdue. This is easily an over. It's 58 down to 52. I mean, the way LSU played Georgia and then Purdue played Michigan, they're not going to have trouble scoring in the game. Neither team's got the defense, so this should be a high-scoring game. USC, Tulane, I love USC as the dog. I love over 62, provided they play. And Utah, Penn State, I love Utah as the dog, and the over 49 in the game. So what's going on? Is Utah playing their quarterback? It looks like probably not for them to be the dog and for them to do that, unless they're just all lovey-dovey on Penn State and no respect to Utah because they're looking at the record. Wow, Utah's lost 3 games, so they're not going to beat Penn State. Are you kidding me? They're going to bury Penn State if they play and they try. Penn State can't stay on the field with them. So we've got a lot of games that we like, but we're in a holding pattern. Are the players playing, and at what point do we then have to pull the trigger? So I can see, the big lock, and then I can see other locks based, like Utah would be a lock if everybody plays. UCLA, lock. USC, lock. Georgia, lock. TCU, maybe not a lock, but a good one. Kansas State, Notre Dame over. Texas, Washington over. Oklahoma over, Texas Tech over, Oregon, North Carolina over. So I got all these strong plays if everybody plays and doesn't say, you know what, I got to rest for the pros, meaning I don't want to get hurt. I'm a baby. I'm going to let my teammates and school down. And I hate that. It's such bullshit when you don't. What do you mean you're not playing? Well, it's a ball game. It's an exhibition game. Well, why did you play the last game? So, okay, Michigan guys, why'd you play against Ohio State? You might have got hurt. And look at Corum. He got hurt against Illinois. He probably shouldn't have played that game. He ended up getting hurt. This is the point. You get hurt. It's football. But that's what you do. You play because for your teammates and your school, and they're the ones paying you. You get the scholarship. You've got free school. You can't abandon it. You look like an idiot, and that's the problem. So I don't like it. So, again, we know our games. It's very easy if they play, and then we've got to find out. Now, Todd says Florida. Florida is the 17th, and we're only at the 6th. So it's 2 weeks away. So if they do this 2 weeks before, we'll have an idea. So I think as it gets to game week, we'll have to put our picks in and assume if we don't hear anything, they're going to play. Now, what do we do? So if we play Utah and 7.5, because we think Rison's playing, and then he announces the day before he's not, we're pretty much depends how we bet it. So if we got a teaser, Ohio or Georgia with Utah, okay, and Georgia's won. Now we got Utah, and they're not playing. Then we have to trap it. You've already won the Georgia part of it. You got Utah plus 7.5 or the over. And then, Rising's not playing. Now we need to play Penn State minus 1.5 straight and then go from there. So that's what we need to do as our protection. It sucks. I know it makes it extremely difficult. Last year we got games canceled. The Miami game, and there was 2 or 3 games that still got canceled because of COVID. Late December, and games that I had locked Miami to Florida with Van Dyke, and then they canceled the game with COVID. I mean, what the fuck? So it was very difficult. I've never seen anything like it where you don't even know who's playing until the guy a half hour before the game says, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to play. What is that? What kind of crap is that? So that's the only problem with these whole bowl games. And it'll be much easier next year if they have 12 or 16 teams in the playoff. Then those players are going to play. Okay, fine. I don't have to worry about it. Like Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, I don't have to worry about their players playing. They're going to play. But when you get Penn State, Utah, you don't know if Rising's playing. You hope he does. If he does, they're going to kill him. But if he doesn't, then, what are you going to do? So you got to be flexible and trap the game. If you win the first half and then Rising says, I'm out, then you've got to bet Penn State back and lay the 1.5. And you can still win both, but it's a lot harder if you're betting on Rising, there's a big difference between him and the backup, as we saw. I really haven't done the pros too much yet. Here's the line. Actually, let's look at the line. All right. Oakland 644.5, up from 5.5. Detroit 2.5, 53.5. Why is Detroit favored? See, I like many there. If you're going to make Detroit at 2.5, Detroit does not deserve to be a favorite. Yeah, they beat Jacksonville, but that's Jacksonville, not Minnesota. They play each other twice a year. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't. Oh, Detroit's going to win by 14? Really? Okay. Buffalo 9.5, 43.5. Hasn't changed. Pitt 3, 36.5. Now that's with Lamar Jackson out. Mr. Superstar, who again gets injured, again is out. Again, let's keep running there, Lamar. So you don't. Again, he's not playing. So keep running. This is my point with the running quarterbacks. They eventually get hurt. Philly 6.5, 45.5. Philly just keeps winning. They got me believing they're a good team. Cincinnati 6, 47.5. I like them against Cleveland as long as I got to check injuries, but they'll beat Cleveland. I watched the Cleveland highlights of the game against Houston. They did not score a touchdown, yet they scored 24 points. There was a pick six. There was a fumble for a touchdown, and I want to believe it was a punt return. They didn't have one touchdown. Watson didn't do shit. So they got 3 touchdowns by the special teams or defense, right? A punt, a fumble, and an interception is how they scored. So if you just didn't look at that, you'd go, oh, he's Deshaun Watson, they got 24 points. No, they didn't. They got 3 points. They didn't score offensively. Now they got Cincinnati. They're not going to get these points on Cincinnati. So I like Cincy there. Tennessee, 3.5, 42.5 against Jacksonville. Tennessee should beat them if they're healthy. Dallas, Houston, Dallas, 17, 44.5. Now, it's interesting how they start Monday laying 14, and Tuesday they go to 17, as if what? Somebody bet $20 million on Dallas at 14? Who the hell is doing that? And now they just make the thing 17. Hey, Greg, what is that? You can't, they're just changing the line. It almost looks like gold. We're keeping the price of gold down so you can buy it cheap. We're keeping the line down so you can make your bet. Once your bet's in, now we're going to raise the line, and that's what it smells like with this Dallas game. 14-17. Fuck, I'll still take Houston. Don't give me this shit that there's, how much money has to be bet to go up 3 points, and who's betting at 15? You're gonna lay Dallas minus 15, really? And what country are you from that you're gonna lay 15 with Dallas? So they just bump it to 17 randomly, which is ridiculous. KC 9, 43.5. That's another one that was KC was 7.5, about bumped to 8.5. And this is a teaser line. They don't want it any higher, but Denver's so bad. Seattle. Now, what happened here? It went from 7 to 3.5, 43.5. I love Seattle here at 3.5. At home. You got to be kidding me. Carolina. Frisco, Tampa. Frisco 3.5. 37.5. And you saw Brady. Everybody bitches at him, but look what he did. He came back, 3 minutes left, touchdown, 10 seconds left, touchdown. They win the game. That's what Brady does. Even though he looked bad, but I'm watching the highlights. Every team looks the same. Every team's running the same freaking plays. The little slide here, the little pass here, the little run here. You just change uniforms. You don't know who you're watching. It's all the same offense and all the same defense. It's crazy. Miami, 352.5 against San Diego. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I like the over. The point's not going to change it. I like San Diego at 9. You're giving me San Diego as a home dog. Thank you very much. New England, 1.5, 44.5. Hasn't really changed. I don't know. I'll have to dig into that one. But all this garbage where the line movement's going is such bullshit. It's like what I just said about Russia. It has to move based on money being bet. I'll look into injuries later. I'm too tired. Now it's funny. I got this email for Michigan life insurance, right? And I'm like, I got gold. What do I need that for? See, gold's your life insurance. So I don't need life insurance and pay all this money. It's in gold. Greg and John, what did you think of the game last night? Well, I just said, Tampa Bay wins. I like New Orleans in the points because Tampa Bay can't beat anybody. I mean, they can beat them by one, but they're not. Nobody in the league can blow out anybody because they're all so bad. So I gave you New Orleans and 9.5 or the under. I didn't play it personally because I really couldn't get a feel of it. I don't know who these teams are, but I did point out that New Orleans looked good against the Niners in what should have been a 14-13 game. They fumbled twice at the goal line. So even though they lost 13-0, it really drove down inside the one and fumbled twice. They'll be able to move on Tampa. So I like the dog in the game. So that's probably what I like. It's hard to get a fix on New Orleans. At least in the pros, you don't have to worry, are the players playing or resting or whatever, although I'm sure they do. So we'll go through. I got to go through later. I'm exhausted. I'll go through the playoff scenarios and then how they are in a teaser. But I can't use that in college. I don't. I used to look at how they are in a teaser, and I'd find teams that were, oh yeah, TCU's 10-0 in a teaser, and then I'd bet them, and that was the way I used to win. But now I don't even waste time with it. There's too many teams, and I don't need it. I just look at their defense and their offense seems to get me the results I'm looking for. So I've stumbled on betting against the defense or taking the defense, and that gives me my expected outcomes. So with that said, God, I got such a headache. I can't get rid of this headache. And I want to sleep, but I can't sleep. So I'm hoping this will help me. Talking football always is good. So again, we got to look. We got Oakland, LA, Thursday game. It's hard. I think you got to go over. It's really hard to take Oakland to win. And Wolford showed he played good against Seattle, and they scored a lot on Seattle, and they have the same defense as Oakland. So I think 44, you get over 38, it's a joke. So I like the game over. See, people are reading the brand going, well, Stafford's not there, they won't score. No, that's not true. They did score on Seattle, and they had the game won. Seattle scored late for us, and it was a big lock. I had it in 2 or 3 teasers. So I was very happy Seattle won, but it should never have come down to that. Where the fuck's Walford lighting up Seattle? I mean, come on, man. So, but what it shows you is the Rams with their coach, I don't even know his name, are still going to be a good scoring team. Now, with Aaron Donald out, even though Cooper Kupp and Stafford aren't playing, you got Wolford and these other receivers look fine. It's the scheme. It's the little things he does. So as far as I'm concerned, you're fine. So I think that's an easy over Oakland, LA on Thursday. See, what I'm trying to do is get away from, well, I'll take the Rams in 11.5 or, Oakland will just win. Yeah, we've seen that. It doesn't work. Oakland won't just win. They're a terrible team. They'll score. They might not win. And that's really what you're getting to. Is Oakland going to score, no defense. The Rams apparently can score, no defense with Donald out, so it should be high scoring. And that goes to the coach. The game I don't understand, Detroit Mini. You're giving me Mini an 8.5? Thank you. Again, this is a puzzle. And I can't look at Detroit at home against Jacksonville and think that's what I'm going to get this week against Minnesota. Oh, they'll blow out Minnesota. Doesn't work like that. It's a whole different matchup. Jacksonville doesn't have a decent quarterback. They don't have the receivers that Minnesota has or Cook. They don't have Cook and Jefferson. So Minnesota's going to score where Jacksonville couldn't. And this is the problem with Jacksonville. You don't know what fucking team you're getting. How they beat Baltimore 28-27, and then they play like this against the Lions. And then you're trying to analyze, well, maybe they're just a good home team and they're a bad road team. They're clearly a bad dog, but maybe they're a good home dog. And that's really why I keep with the trends, even though it's hard to because you keep getting new coaches. But you need something to hold on to figure out the team. I can't figure out Jacksonville. They lost at home to Houston, 13-7. What the fuck? And then they beat Baltimore. Okay, that makes no sense. How do you beat Baltimore and lose to Houston at home? It's impossible. But that's Trevor Lawrence. He's horrible. And this is the problem with Jacksonville. They keep playing Trevor Lawrence. Bench him, get him out, trade him. He sucks. Get rid of him. You're not going to win with him. How he was the number 1 draft pick. No wonder Urban Meyer left. He probably said, if I got to have this idiot, I'm out of here. And he probably wanted Fields, and they wouldn't give him Fields, and then that's why he quit. Because in the NFL, it's all based on the quarterback. At Ohio State, he can bring in his quarterbacks and have the one he wants, but not in the pros. That's why Nick Saban didn't stay. That's why Urban Meyer didn't stay. They didn't get their quarterback. Jimmy Johnson got Troy Aikman, so he's like, I can stick around. Or these other coaches, Shula got Marino, although he didn't know what to do with them. but that's what you're looking at. So superficially, Minnie needs the game. The Jets and Buffalo's a playoff game. Baltimore Pitt. Now, Pitt's playing better, and Baltimore doesn't have Lamar. They have Huntley, who's not bad. I don't mind. I think Huntley's better than Lamar, better passer. So I don't know. They're making Pitt a 3-point favorite. I'm really struggling with that. Even with Lamar out, the backup's not going to kill you. Cincinnati, they'll kill Cleveland. Tennessee should handle Jacksonville, especially after getting killed by Philly. Dallas, Houston, I wouldn't lay 17 in the NFL for all the tea in China. 17, you think they're going to beat them by 17? Good luck with Prescott. That'll never happen. Philly over the Giants. Philly should handle them if they need it. I think they still do. Philly and Dallas are still going for the top seed in that division, so I think they still need it. KC, Denver. KC's much better. I don't like that the line moved to 9. Why are they dicking around? Why didn't they just start the line at 9? You know you're going to get there because you want the teacher to be -3. And that's what are they dicking around? My line was 10. I thought KC by 10. Over under 43. Well, good luck scoring points with Denver. So I just laid a 3 with KC. The Niners, Tampa. Now this is a very interesting game. Garoppolo's out. I like Brock Purdy. And you got Brady. Now they're starting to cook. Even though it took them till the end, they're starting to play. They're starting to get some wins together. I think Tampa 9.5 is a real good play here. I was never a big Garoppolo fan anyway, but I like Brock Purdy, but I don't think he's ready to handle Tampa Bay. Brady's clearly the better quarterback there. Carolina, Seattle again. This should be an over. 43 is a joke for Seattle. They scored 30 on their own. They give up 20 on their own. Even against the Rams with no quarterback, they give up 20-some points. Miami, San Diego, I don't get it. Why is Miami favorite at San Diego? San Diego's a home dog. They play very good at home as a dog. They are very, very strong. I like San Diego 9 there. And then New England, why is New England favorite in this game? Oh, it's Bill Belichick. Yeah, he looked so good last week. And he's playing a running quarterback, which we've already shown he can't handle a running quarterback like Fields. And so I don't buy New England being favored in the game at all. So I like Arizona in the 7.5. So there's 6 teams off again with these buys. Jesus. So I guess everybody gets 2 buys, which is confusing enough. That's kind of just ridiculous because they don't play in the preseason. They get a bye before week 1. Then they get 1 bye, and now here's a second bye apparently. Fuck, are they going to play or what? Just so you could have 17 games, which, I don't know. I think it's crazy. So you're trying to read who's red and who's black, right? Who's hot? Oakland's getting there. Detroit's playing well. The Jets are playing well. Pitt's playing better. Cincy's playing better. Dallas is playing better. Philly's playing good. KC. Tampa's starting to roll. I would say Green Bay's starting to roll, but they're not playing this week. Seattle, and then San Diego's good, and then Arizona we're not sure on. But that's what you look for. In college, we've got it all. We're just waiting for at what point do they say, well, we don't want to get hurt. We're just gonna watch because we might get hurt and we don't want to get hurt because we're gonna be pros, Jesus Christ, how stupid is this? Well, anyway, that's what we have. So I read you from my Russian friend what's going on in Russia. It's very disappointing, and I can only send her so much money. I can't. Oh, wait, let me send you another $1,000. It gets tough. I need the money for me. I mean, I got my expenses. And then I help my Ukraine friends. So I can't give to both. I got to give to both, but I can't give as much as I want. But I want to help them both out. So it becomes very she does work at like a store or something, but who knows what she makes. And, we'll have to see. But it's a very difficult thing for people, but it opens our eyes in America what is really happening. Because as I'm teaching economics, I teach free market. They don't use free market. Well, we're just going to raise apartment rent. Well, it's not a free market. What if people can't afford it? What are they supposed to do? Just starve? And I can't go there to bring her here or fly her out to here. So what am I supposed to do? I can't. I'm just going to sit back and watch. I can't do that. So that's where I'm fucked. I would go get her, but I can't because the U.S. can't fly into Russian airspace. And she can't get out because it's all NATO and all the bullshit. So it's a real bad situation for her. And I feel bad. I can help her a little bit, but we'll see. But I'm not happy about what's happening. I'd like to go get her, give her some gold, and off we go. But it's just crazy. So anyway, I have to get fixed. I am just headache, my back sore. I'm a little cloudy. Yes, I do know what I'm saying somehow. Tomorrow will be economics. I hope to be better. So like I said, I'm going to go hot tub and sauna. And my friend who's like into the herbs and spices, she's already told me, I think she'll bring it. So I'll go there in a little bit and get it. Hey, Prophet. I would be very careful about sending money to anyone you haven't met and know very well. I know her very well. I'm not worried about that. My friend in the Ukraine, I was just with her in Lisbon, so I'm not worried about that. My friend in Russia, I've known her for years. I was going to go visit her when they put these sanctions out. So no, I haven't met her in person, but I'm not worried that. But thank you very much. I know what you're saying. When the girl says, give me money, if I haven't met the girl or talked to them for a while, like this girl I've known for probably 4 or 5 years, we've talked, we're on WhatsApp, we send videos. I'm not worried that she's not real or it's a guy or it's some Oriental guy. You get that a lot with these girls on Twitter where they're pretending they're like models. Oh, send it. And then it's not even their name. Oh, well, send me a PayPal, but it's John Smith. And you're like, what the fuck why is that your name? Why isn't your name Sue, Sue Smith? That's your name. Why don't you have PayPal to that? So I usually don't PayPal if I haven't met. And then I'll ask them, well, let's do a Skype. And then they won't. And then I just say, okay, forget it. So I am very careful with that. But my friend in Russia, I'm not concerned at all that it's not her. It's a scam. We're trying to meet, but yes. But I know she lives in St. Petersburg, so I'm not concerned. It could be an Asian boy in a call center in the Philippines. No, I'm seeing her. She's sending me videos and WhatsApp, so I'm not worried about that. But I do know what you're saying, and thank you very much. But again, you're looking at what's happening. It's definitely not a boy in a call center. Definitely, we want to meet, but again, it's the sanctions. We've been trying to meet for 2 years, but it's the sanctions, and we can't fly into Russian airspace, and she can't come here. So it's not like she doesn't want to meet. She can't. I can't fly into Russia. That's the problem. I was hoping to get her into Copenhagen and do a money heist and meet her there, but she couldn't get there because she could train into Helsinki and then I think you boat to Copenhagen. So I tried to get her to do that, but she couldn't do it. Yeah, no, I'm very smart. And again, I'm not giving a ton of money. I'm giving, here's 100 or two once in a while. That's all I'm doing. But with the acknowledgments that we're getting on WhatsApp, I'm 100% sure it's her. And so I'm I'm not worried about it. Where the other girls who have the Asian boy on the email on PayPal, those I worry about. Her, it's her name, right? The PayPal, when we could send it, was her name. And now I can't send it. I can't PayPal or Western Union or MoneyGram to Russia. I can't even do that. So we go through the back door, but I'm sure who I'm sending it to. So that I'm not worried about that. It's not her. And again, she wants to meet. She wants to come here. So it's just a matter of that. Where you have the problems when they don't want to meet, when they say they want to meet and they don't, or why don't you Skype me, say, hi, this is Sue. Hi, Howard, this is Sue. Give me a little 10-second WhatsApp video like I'm doing here. And when they won't do that, then I just laugh and go, well, you're not real, because if you're real, you do it. It's like the US saying, we've got 8,000 tons of gold. Okay, let's see it. Well, if they really had it, they'd show it. But because they don't show it, they don't have it. It's very simple. If you are saying something and you actually, if somebody challenged me on my diploma, right? This is a couple of weeks ago. I said, I got a master's in finance and economics. And the guy says, well, do you have the diploma? And I got it. It's on the wall right there. So it's over there. And I said, yeah, there it is. And because it's real, I have it. And if I have it, then I'm proud to show it. But if I didn't have it, I wouldn't, if I didn't have the diploma, then it would be a problem, right? You'd be, well, why doesn't he show it? If he's really got it, the master's, why doesn't he show it? And that's the problem with the US and their gold. Why don't you show it? How hard is it to go into Fort Knox and show 8,000 tons of gold, which we all know you don't have any. That's why they don't want the price of gold to go up, because they're going to have zero. So it'll be 50,000 times zero, and Russia's 50,000 times 15,000 tons, right? So $50,000 times 15,000 tons, and Russia's, they're smiling all the way to the door. That's why it's not gone up yet, because the U.S. is fighting to keep the price down, but they won't be able to. Russia and China are like, all right, we got all this gold. We want it to go up in price. We want it to be market rates. That's the problem. And that's why we're buying it, right? We're getting in on it too, going, well, shit, if it's going to be this cheap and it's really much more expensive, then I'll get in on the game and buy it. And I show you I got it, and the silver and everything else. And my friend in the Ukraine, I gave her a half ounce of gold, and she loves it. She's all excited. But that way, in case anything happens, if the Russians are attacking and they're in a tank, she can always go, wait a minute, I got a half ounce of gold. Don't kill me. And they would stop and they would take it and they wouldn't kill her. She'd say, I can get more if you let me live. And they'd let her live because they love gold. So I kind of did it for two reasons. One, it'll go up, and two, to protect her. But I can't give it to my friend in Russia. I can't get there to give it to her. So anyway, that's what's happening. But I understand, Prophet. It's you've got to be careful. That's why you only give money to people you met. I agree 100%. And that's what I do. But the girl in the Ukraine, I've met her, 3 times in the year. We met Christmas. We met in the summer in Odessa, and then we just met in Lisbon. So we just met 3 times. So that's fine. We're very compatible and everything. But she won't leave because her family's in the Ukraine. So that's really the problem there. But that's okay. I get that. The Russian girl wants to move here because she wants to get the fuck out of Russia. And her family's here, so she wants to get out. Anyway, so that's what's going on. I don't know what Putin's doing. He's bombing. This is my Ukrainian girl. She's sitting there going, so my Ukrainian girl says this. The banks were open. She was able to get the money I sent her. 60 rockets were shot down. 10 unfortunately hit the population. They gave the light, the internet, and mobile connections are very bad. Now, what the fuck is Putin doing? He sends 60 rockets into this field, basically. It's not a remote city. It's not Kiev. It's just just a little city with fields and a couple of stores. He's sending 60 rockets, and 50 got shot down. 10 made it through. It hurt the internet, the mobile, and so she saw light. That's what it was. The rockets blowing up. But this is the fuck is going on there. You got to be kidding. Prophet just had some women on Facebook who wanted to be friends, and now she wants me to send her gift cards from different stores. Oh, that's a scam for sure. So what I would tell her is, okay, let's do a Skype. Let me see that it's really you. Now, if it's really her, she would do a Skype. I still wouldn't send her gift cards until you met her. But that's the whole point. That's what they try to do. They try to sell it like, oh, you can be with me. I'll be your girlfriend, but I need cards, which is a total scam. What the fuck's with the card? When anybody asks me for cards in Bitcoin, this one girl asked me for Bitcoin. I laughed. I said, no, I don't do Bitcoin. No. I teach. We don't do Bitcoin, so I'm not going to give you Bitcoin. Gold and silver is a different story, but I wouldn't give you Bitcoin. So it's just funny how I kind of just talk to her like I'm the economist. No, we don't buy Bitcoin here. We buy gold. We buy silver. Well, this is the scam, guys. That's what they're trying to do. So some pretty girl, and I'll be with you. Send me a card. I need help with the card. And then you're like, oh, it's only $50. Yeah, but it's not the girl. Unless she sends, this is the difference. My Russian girlfriend, she sends videos on WhatsApp, and I've seen her before. So I know it's her because I've seen her on the internet, and then she sends me the video on WhatsApp, so I know it's her. Or she sends me pictures, and I'll send her pictures and bits. So we know it's each other, right? It's not that. So if I give her $100 on PayPal backdoor, I know I'm sending it to her. I'm not concerned that it's not really her. But again, what does she do? She sends me a video on WhatsApp. Now she doesn't speak English that well, but I don't really care. I mean, if you type it, they can read the type. So I'm not worried about that. But if they don't show you who they are, you don't waste your time. And they're going to come across, oh, I'm this actress or whatever I am. And, send me money. And you're like, fuck you. Give me a video. You can't even take a phone call because unless you can actually see, you can see it's me, right? And you know what I look like. So when I do this video, it's the professor, it's me, you can see me. And if the girl doesn't want to do this, then she's not real, because if she's real, she would give you what I'm giving you, which is, here's the video of me, it's me, da-da-da-da-da. So when you give me money to pay for pics, you get a password, you get the pics. Hopefully we make money and off you go. So you don't ever have to worry. I know in the beginning, some people worry, are you real? Oh, I don't see pics. Are you scamming me? You took my money. I didn't get pics. Well, the pics are coming. And, but generally the pics are there. So once they pay and then they go in, type the password on the site, see the pics, then I don't have any problems. There's nothing, I might have to explain the way I do the teaser across, but basically everybody's fine. They're not worried about it. And they hear me give the pics. So if I give you San Diego over Miami and you go to the site and you see San Diego over Miami, I'm giving it to you. I'm telling you the pic. So it shouldn't be, yeah, that's what he said. There's the pic. So off we go. Gregor John, I had a friend get married to someone overseas, and then she left him right away after marriage. She became a U.S. citizen. She can't do that now. If they leave right away, they go to jail. they got to stay with you like 10 years now. They cannot come and marry you and then 6 weeks later leave you. They can't, not anymore. They used to, but now if the girl does that, they throw her in jail. So just an FYI there. And you never know really what's going on with these girls until you spend time with them. My friend from the Ukraine, I have every certainty. We talk every day. I'm not concerned at all that it's not her and what she's telling me and everything. The girl in Russia is different. We haven't met, but that's not her fault. It's the stupid sanctions and the airport's closed. So again, but she sends videos, pictures. I know it's her, so I'm not worried about it. But that's the whole scam. I mean, it's send me a card. As soon as I hear send me a card, I go, fuck off. What do you mean send you a card? What's that? I don't send anybody a card. Just because I really don't want to go to Target and wait in line and buy a card and put $50 on it and then read it over the phone to somebody I haven't met. So I would never buy a card. If it's one thing if you have PayPal and it's got to be in your name. So if her name's Sue Smith, your PayPal better be Sue Smith, not some Chinese guy. And if it is, then I don't go through with it. That's my manager, or that's this or that. Yeah, screw you. Send me the video. Oh, just be careful, boys. It's these love scams, or look, I'm hot, so you can be with me, but I need a card, or I need money, or maybe PayPal or Bitcoin, because that's not traceable. And you just say, no. Send me a video that says, hi, hi, professor, it's me, Sue. If you would send me that, then I might give you money. I'd be more apt to give you money. But if you're not sending me that, you don't get nothing. And I just, I got my girl in Russia and the Ukraine. I don't need this crap. But the marriage, they can't do anymore. But yeah, I mean, I know Russian girls that would get married and you'd pay to get them out of Russia, and then they'd leave you for somebody with more money. That's the Russian girl. They are just care about money. That's their MO. The Ukraine girls are probably similar. So you got to be careful with those. Like, you think they're poor and you're getting them out and you're helping them, but they'll just wait for a richer guy and dump you, because it's not about you. It's about, you have money to get me out, and this guy's got more money to get me out, I'm going to run to him. But that's how they were brought up. It's a whole different dichotomy in Russia and the Ukraine. The guys cheat on them all the time. The girls don't like to be number two. It's a real clusterfuck over there. Like I was saying, go to Odessa, man, you got 50 girls hotter than the other, but they don't want to be second. So if you meet one, that's the one you're with. You can't talk to all 50, or the others will leave you. They've got to be number one. So keep that in mind. The stupid war is killing us. I can't fly to the Ukraine. I can't fly to Russia. So it ends up being, and then they're going to fuck up Europe. Europe's going to get all fucked up. So I don't know, this heating oil, this inflation, it's just a nightmare. And I don't know how to help my friends. I mean, I can give you a few $100s, but I keep saying, just wait till gold and silver go up. Then I can send you an ounce of silver and it's worth $5,000. Here you go. I mean, I'm up to 395 ounces of silver. So I need to buy 5 more to get to 400. But that's what I'm understanding. That's your way out. That's why I tell you to do it, because that's the way out. But the girls don't want to hear that. The girls just, I know you got money. Yeah, I do. But you know what? If I have extra money, I go buy silver and gold with it. It's not staying in my bank, and I don't want it. So I don't have anything in the bank, very little. It's a lot in my safe. I asked the guy from one of these strange countries in the hot tub yesterday, and I said, well, will I get a time lag of when you close this dollar and come out with the digital dollar? will I have like 30 days to take my 10 grand from my safe, take it to the bank and move it into digital dollars? And he said, yeah, but I don't trust him. But that's what I'm thinking. We'll have time to take the money from the safe and then get the new digital dollars. But I don't know. I don't know how they get rid of this. They still got to have this. Not this, but the new dollar. Profit. If she has family over here, they should be helping her financially. Russia has a serious man shortage due to WW2. Actually, Russia lost over 20 million troops, and the women there are very cutthroat. Well, she does have family. Her sister lives in, I think, North Carolina or Maryland or something. So I'm sure the sister helps her too. She goes to me, and here's 100. And I'm sure she goes to her sister, her mother, and her sister lives and works here. So I'm sure her sister helps her out. So I'm not that concerned. Like she's going to starve to death. Like I'm her only out. So I agree with you, Prophet. I'm sure her sister is. And yes, that's the problem is all the soldiers that died. And look at what's happening now. All the men have flown out of Russia into these other countries because they don't want to get drafted by Putin and they don't want to fight in the war and they don't want to die. So a lot of the guys fled. So there's no guy there. There's no, there's really no economy there. Nobody's going to buy anything. So she's fucked. I keep telling her, you've got to get out. Just swim, do whatever you got to do, get out of the place. And then we can meet in a neutral place that I can fly to. And then I can bring you here. But she still would need a visa. So it would be very difficult to bring her here. We'd have to go somewhere like Turkey where she could, she wouldn't need a visa and I wouldn't need a visa or something like that. Anyway, it's very difficult, but yes, you're right. World War II really fucked everything up. And what's going on now it makes no sense. It's what's the point? I really I'm trying to get what Putin's doing and why, and I can't. I don't know what he's doing. He's bombing a field with 60 missiles in my girlfriend's backyard, which is all cornfields. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you bomb 60 bombs there? 50 got taken, 10 got through. What's the point? Oh, you're mad that the Ukraine took back Kherson or Donetsk or one of these cities, so therefore you're gonna bomb the corn. I mean, it's expensive to bomb. I mean, that's not a cheap thing. So I don't know what he's fucking doing, but there's no point. There's no war point of what he's doing. So hopefully it either ends soon or she can get the fuck out of there soon. And she does have family in let's say Maryland or something. So hopefully she can get there. Remember Tony's Russian girlfriend, The Sopranos? She was over the top, batshit crazy. I never watched The Sopranos. I really didn't like that Tony guy. There's a movie, The Last Castle, with Robert Redford, and this guy's like the commandant of the jail. So it's a jail for military people. It's a really good movie, but I don't like him, and I never watched The Sopranos. So. Well, that's how they paint the Russian girls. The Russian girls are very smart. They're very nice. If you get the right one, you have a very nice girlfriend, very loving. They'll take care of you if you got a nice one. So that's what you do. But they're not all crazy. I mean, there's plenty more crazy American girls than crazy Russian girls. Well, anyway, so I hope we can meet soon. I'm not really worried about the money, but I am just wanting to meet her already. Just because we haven't met. Like I said, we were supposed to meet a few years ago, and then COVID hit. We couldn't go. I couldn't go there, and then it's been the war, and it's just a freaking joke. I mean, COVID's been like 2 years, so it's just been nasty. I'm able to go to Europe, but not to Russia. and they can't come here. So it's really, it's really difficult right now with me and her. Anyway, that's the world. I mean, it just shows you like we're in the U.S., but these other countries have their cultures, and you just have to be careful with the culture. But if you don't see the girl, don't send her any money. Yeah, I'm at the point where I'm like, some new girls hitting. I don't even care. Goodbye. No, I don't know who you are. I don't want to know. It's just insane. You can meet enough people here, and then I have my girlfriend, so I don't need that shit. Anyway, so I'm hoping my Ukraine girlfriend comes here. She's going to come in January, I think, because her son lives there. And so she doesn't want to leave her son. So her son's in Poland escaping the war. So they'll come here. Anyway, yep, you got to be careful, but you got to understand the Russian mentality. It's a totalitarian state. The government controls you. So that's one reason they're all crazy. So my friend trusts me. She says, I feel safe with you and I trust you. And that's really the key. Even though we haven't met, by me sending videos and talking, and she trusts me. She realizes I'm not going to hurt her. So that's what we have with her. But she's, it's so hard there. But she does trust me. We talk a lot on video. So anyway, that's what's happening. I am just so tired. Hopefully the hot tub will do me good. And hopefully my friend at the club will bring the herbs that I need to heal up. But now when I get sick, like everybody running to the doctor, I just call up my friend who's a herb. She's a herb girl, and she's, I'll take this herb, take that herb. I take it and I'm fine. I'm getting kicked back on it though. So I was all fine yesterday. You heard me. And then all of a sudden I go to sleep. I wake up like this. I'm like, what the fuck? So I keep getting sick. But anyway, so that's it. We'll go through, tomorrow's Wednesday. We'll go through a little economics. The Bowls, we're really in a holding pattern. We've discussed them, but we're in a holding pattern to see, is Rising going to play for Utah? If he plays, we're going to make a lot of money. And if he doesn't play, we're not going to make a lot of money. I mean, then we'll have to just pass on it. So that's where we're at with it. Anyway, be careful, guys. If the girl won't send you a Skype or some sort of video on WhatsApp saying, hi, I'm Susie. Hey, John, nice to meet you, and prove herself to you and have a PayPal that is Susie Smith and that's her name, just ignore it and don't waste time and just delete her and move on. It's very hard to go to those girls and think they're real. They're not. There's no reason to think they are. So anyway, let's see if this is my herbologist doctor. I'm hoping. I'm so sick. No. Well, it's my friend. Oh, that was nice from my friend. Some girl wanted me to buy her a phone card. Well, it's one thing if you're dating her and, you're going out to dinner and, you're sexually having fun with her. Yeah, then you probably buy it. And that's the funny part about sex. It always costs. If it's not pay for the sex, it's you pay for the dinner, you pay for the card, you pay for the sweaters. You're always paying for the girl. So just keep that in mind. So it just depends which way you want. But well, that's why you meet them, and that's why you've got to see them to know they're real. So the first thing is to find out they're real. And if they give you a hard time about sending you a little video like I'm doing, hey guys, it's me, Professor. You know it's me, right? You've seen me, you know it's me. I'm the guy on the Teaserking. Boom, boom. Oh, okay, this is the guy. Then you have no issues. Or if you guys ask me, I need to see you, but if you ask me for money, but if a girl asks me for money and she won't give me the video, it's like the US not giving you, here's how much gold we have in Fort Knox. If it was real, you'd show me. And since you're not showing me, it ain't real. And why should I send a phone card to a girl? Go like, if you didn't know me, what are you going to do for the phone? I mean, you're not gonna, are you not gonna use your phone? No, you're still getting money for the phone. So that's a bunch of bullshit. So I got to meet you, or I got to send me a video on WhatsApp. And you can send me a video, then I'll trust you. But I still won't give it until we meet, because I can send it to you and then you still don't meet, and I'm out $50 and the girl's not going to meet me. So what's the point of giving her $50? So don't give any money, set up the date. But then even that's hard because, oh, well, fly me. Well, then you got to go buy a ticket and then the girl won't be on the plane. What I normally would do in that situation is I'll buy the ticket and then I'll email her the e-ticket. If I know them fairly well, then I'll do that. Like my Ukrainian girl we met in Lisbon, I bought the ticket and then I emailed it to her. And then when I got to Lisbon, she was there. So it wasn't like I was worried she wasn't going to show up, but I paid for it. So there was no benefit to her of doing anything because she's going to meet me there. I got the hotel and the food and everything else. So she wants to have a good time, she should show up. And if she doesn't show up, then that's a different story. But she's always showed up. So she's good. She's very smart, very nice girl. It's on a Facebook Prophet. The hustle never ends. Well, that's the problem with it. It's just new ways of getting money. So the best advice I can give you, and I know if she's a hot blonde, you want to get with her, don't give a penny until you meet her. And don't pay for a ticket. Don't say, okay, I'll buy you the ticket and send them the cash for the ticket. Then they'll never come. The only way is to you have to know it's them. So they have to send you a video for you to then maybe you send them a plane ticket. The best way is to go meet them. So I met this girl in Vegas. So I flew to Vegas and then I'm in the Venetian room 123 and she knocks on the door. There she is. Okay, fine. Now I know her. She'll call me for $100. I know it's her and I'll give it to her because we've met. But that's probably the best way is you have to fly to them because then they don't show up or anything like that. You fly there. In a place like Vegas, it doesn't matter. If she shows you, I'm in Vegas. It's like going to Amsterdam. Okay, no, show me. There's only 1,000 hot girls in the red light district. So that's fine. Who cares if you show up or not? But that's the point. So that's what you want to do is probably fly to them if it's going to be a decent distance. You want them to be in your city and then drive there and take her to dinner. But that's the hard part because it's the illusion. Oh, look at this girl. I mean, it'll be great. She's not real, or so that's the problem with it. Yeah, but even if you're getting some, that's another story. But still, you can get some for a while. And then she says, "Oh, you're not giving me money. You're not getting any more." Wait, I just gave you $1,000. Yeah, but I don't like you. So you got to be really careful, even if you are getting some on that. But that's why. So probably the best way, if it's out of town, is you fly to them. You make it a 3-4 day vacation. You fly to them. Where you at? You go to the hotel. She meets you. And I've done that in Romania and the Ukraine. So I flew to Romania to meet my best friend, Irina. And I said, okay, I'm here. And then she came to the hotel and we met. But I can't ask her to fly here or anything else. Then after you meet, then, okay, where do you want to go? Oh, we can go to Switzerland. We can go to France. We would do that after we met. So it's that first meeting, and then they got to like you. And as long as you got money, they pretty much like you. So that's where it comes, is you got to have money. So it's all about the money, guys. I'll see a guy at the club and he's all toned, and I laugh at him. I go, it's all about money. It's not about your looks. Women don't care what you look like. They care about if you have money. That's the key to women. Oh, you got $100,000? I'll date you. I don't care what you look like. You look great, but you have no money. I don't want anything to do with you. I only want guys that have money. And that's so I just laugh, and the guy gets all in shape. I'm like, you're wasting your time. So that's how women are. They want to be attracted to you, but it's always about money. You have money? Yes. Okay. We can go out. And it's always about that. So anyway. So I hope this war ends soon. I'd like to meet my friend from Russia, but I could meet my friend in the Ukraine. Although she's got to take a train from her city to Poland. It takes 21 hours. I mean, it's insane. So the poor girl, I mean, 21 there and then 21 home. And I keep saying, just stay in Poland, and she won't. And I got my other son in Ukraine, and he's military. He's like over 21. He can't leave, so I got to be home for him. And dude, you're in the middle of a war. You don't have to be home for him. Like, what are you doing? So she wants me to come there. I go, I'm not going in the middle of a war. I mean, I would go if it was peacetime, but I'm not flying to the Ukraine, which I couldn't get in because there's no airports, to sit there and watch the rockets bomb me. I'm not into that. That's a bit much. So anyway, that's the problem. It's the promise. So make sure if you do with a girl, you see them, have them send you a video on WhatsApp or Skype you. See, the problem is if they call you, and I've had this, I go, you don't sound like the girl. I know what the girl sounds like. You don't sound like her. You don't know who you're talking to, right? If you can't see, you know it's me because you can see me and hear me. But if the girl calls you, you don't know who's on the line. So you've got to see the girl talk to you. Then you know it's the girl. But until then, you don't have a clue. And never send money until you meet. And even then, I don't know if I'd run and send. Why are you sending money? What are they doing now? They obviously have money, or somebody's giving them money. So they don't need your money. So it's just a part of the scam, right? All right. My site does have 1 1/4 for all the bowls. So just you can go buy everything. You can do it now for the Army, Navy. You'll get all the bowls. And you don't have to keep buying it. So it's 1 1/4 for like 3 weeks, as opposed to 75 a week. So that's about it. So let's hope they play. Let's hope we at least get notice on who's playing and when. So we're going to have to take it slow because we don't want to get screwed where Rising says the day before, oh, I'm not playing. Well, fuck Rising. Tell us that before. So I'm hoping he plays and we can get information that he's playing, or like you did with Florida where the quarterback's out. I don't think it matters. I think they're better without him. So I don't know that that's a problem. I can't imagine why that guy's sitting out. You got to be kidding me. And if you draft that guy in the top 5, you're going to be fired. Your team's going to lose. What the fuck are you doing with that? Well, he's a running quarterback. He can't throw. Yeah, but we want running quarterbacks in the league now. I mean, what is that? It's insane. So anyway, I am terribly tired and terribly sick. So I am going to the club, hot tub, sauna, and I won't swim. And I won't ride a bike. I'm just going to try to heal myself and then meet my friend there. It's 2:00. She's probably going to be there soon and get her herbs so I can heal up. All right, everybody. www.teaserking.com. We'll do we'll do some economics tomorrow, and probably a little bit more on the NFL, because really the bowls, we can talk Army Navy, but the other bowls was not a lot to talk about till we know the games. We're taking Utah if the quarterback plays, but we don't know that yet. So we got to wait a little bit time till we know who's playing. What herbs am I taking? Well, it's a good question. Yarrow, Yarrow, and peppermint combined. I will see if I have some yarrow left. This girl is into all these herbs to heal you. We don't believe in the doctor, because the doctor just gives you antibiotics or some bullshit. He doesn't fix you. These actually help you. So if she has yarrow and peppermint, now Irina, my friend in Romania, is pregnant, and she was having morning sickness. So I asked my friend, I said, what do you do for it? She says, peppermint. She goes out and gets peppermint. She didn't have any more morning sickness. So my friend knows what she's talking about. And I was glad I could help my other friend with that. So I'll combine that. So it's yarrow and peppermint. So we will see. But this is just really rough. It's such a headache, but I can't sleep. So I'm hoping the hot tub will put me to sleep. All right, everybody, www.teaserking.com. I can't believe I lasted an hour 40. Very tired. So let me know if you have any other questions. www.teaserking.com. You get my email. Please feel free to email me, and we can talk about all this stuff. All right, everybody, have a great day. Feel good. I'll try to get better. All right, take care.